What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Raider Ricks podcast. Today I'm just going to cover the last 2 weeks of Raiders football. Now, I know if you're on Twitter or Instagram and you follow any of the Raiders pages, you already know the arguments have been crazy as hell over the last couple weeks on whether the losses were Carr's fault, the offensive line's fault, the defense's fault, Gruden's fault, or just based off the injuries that are stacking up. But I want to let you in on one very little known secret. It's a team game. This fault lies on every player and coach on staff as to why they were lost. Alright, so let's just get into it. Now, obviously, you know the last two games were losses, but honestly, we had a lot of good things happen. Trayvon Mullen has been absolutely balling out. I think he's allowed like the fourth least amount of receptions out of all corners in 2020 so far, which is insane. Now, it seems like every time we get close to winning, especially with these last 2 weeks, it's just been a lot of self-inflicted wounds, and it's been kind of crazy. There's been, the fumbles by Carr, the wide receivers, and the running backs. Terrible, stupid penalties, and some of those shouldn't have even been called. Like the Josh Jacobs one last week against the Bills for lowering his head and initiating contact when everybody else just saw it as he lowered his shoulder to initiate. Whatever the case, there's been way too many penalties, whether it's pre-snap for illegal formation or false start, even holding. Now, the hardest thing to swallow right now is our defense is playing like absolute trash. Just absolute garbage. Non-existent pass rush. I think we've had 3 sacks in 4 games. Poor tackling or missed tackles with 46 missed tackles through 4 games, which is the league worst. Horrible third down efficiency on the defense. We're ranked 28th out of 32 and allowing 50% conversion. And just overall poor play calling. I mean, if you look at some of the plays that we've done on defense, it just looks absolutely horrific. Players are out of position. Play calling is absolute trash. Paul Guenther is honestly not the guy to get our defense to being even subpar, middle of the pack. Now, any team, even with a top offense, is going to have a very difficult time winning any games when their defense is bottom 2 in the league. We're ranked 31st right now, especially if you can't force turnovers. In 4 games, the Raiders have created 2 total turnovers, and that's just not going to get it done. The defense continues to just look out of sync. They're not on the same page. Gruden even said in one of his pressers the other day that they played man coverage on a few, and 2 of the players played zone, so it just kind of fell apart, honestly. When you have specified man coverage plays and some of your players don't even know what they are and they're playing zone, that's a coaching problem and also a player problem. There were some good things to happen, though, and that's obviously going to be on the offensive side. Even with the penalties and fumbles, the offense is still firing at a very, very high rate, making plays to help keep the team in the game until the very end. The offense is averaging just under 28 points per game with 27.6. Carr, aside from his fumbles, has played extremely well. And once he gets the fumbling issue under control, the offense is likely going to just skyrocket from there and average somewhere between 30 and 34 points per game. At least that's my hope. Just watching how they get the ball down the field and just somehow or another it gets screwed by stupid penalties or drops or whatever you want to call it. It's self-inflicted wounds. But honestly, it's a very long season. This is the reason that there are 16 games played instead of only just 4. At 2-2, we're already doing a lot better than the experts, quote unquote experts, and NFL pundits have thought we were gonna do. We were slated to go 0-5 before the bye week, and after winning the first two and losing the next two against teams that are definitely going to be in the playoffs, in the Patriots and the Bills. The Bills are 4-0. They're going to be a very difficult team this season. I feel like everything's going to end up being perfectly fine. They just got to take it one game at a time, realize the mistakes that they're making, especially the self-inflicted mistakes like penalties or fumbles, and just they have to just grind it out. I know there's a lot of injuries to our offensive line, our wide receiving core, but that cannot be used as an excuse for us losing. Now, obviously, the Trent Brown situation is a little up in the air. Nobody really quite knows what's going on with him. I know he had a calf injury at the beginning of the season. He played 3 snaps so far. That's it this year. Hopefully, he can come back pretty soon because we desperately need him on the offensive line. Sam Young is solid, but he's not Trent Brown. He's not that kind of guy who can just create lanes every snap. And that's what we need right now. In order to win against the Chiefs, though, in Kansas City, the team has to be on their A game in every single phase. Offense, special teams, and most definitely the defense. KC is a high-powered offense and a really solid defense. And they're definitely going to be looking to make us 2-3 going into our bye week. But the positive for this game is that we do have a little bit more time to prepare than they do because their game was changed from Sunday to Monday. So they've only got 4 days to practice instead of 5, 4 days of preparation instead of 5. We played on Sunday, so we get an extra day over them. And it's not going to be too cold in Kansas City either. So that's also going to be kind of nice. Everybody knows that it seems like Carr has a little bit of trouble playing in cold weather games. So luckily going into Kansas City, it's not going to be, below 40. It's going to be nice weather, kind of what he's used to in California. Now, another thing to look forward to is the offensive matchups for the Raiders against the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs have not been great while covering tight ends this year, but they also haven't been very good in defending the run either. And if we have Trent Brown back, that's definitely going to be one of our strong points, is going to be running the ball. Because Sam Young, he's not very good in the run protection. He's solid in pass protection, but his running protection game is not on point to where it needs to be. He's struggling a lot trying to make lanes for Josh Jacobs or any of the other running backs that we have. And honestly, there's a lot to go through with how this game could play out. I'm hoping that they can just come right out of the gate firing and that the Raiders can kind of just squeeze this one out. I know it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a super difficult game, especially against the Chiefs with one of the best play callers in the league in Andy Reid, one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Patrick Mahomes. But if we can't get pressure on him, it's going to be a long-ass Sunday. Very long. Now, I want to go over just a handful of plays from the last 2 weeks that I thought really stood out. Alright, so the first play I'm going to show you guys, I'm only going to show a handful of them. This one is from the Buffalo Bills game. Derek Carr, he evaded the pressure. He stepped up in the pocket. He threw a nice, beautiful sideline pass to Hunter Renfrow. I felt like this was probably one of the best plays of the entire game.
Carr to fake, steps up in the pocket, throws high in the air, it's caught.
Now, not only did Carr throw an absolutely beautiful pass, Hunter Renfrow came up with a super clutch reception. Just absolutely muscled it. Came through when we needed him to. I know we still lost the game, but that pass right there was absolutely outstanding. I'm just hoping that we can get some more connection between him and Renfroe going as the season progresses. We saw all last season that Hunter Renfroe was essentially Carr's security blanket, especially on third downs. But now he's giving Renfroe the opportunity to make big splash plays and deep threat plays, which Hunter Renfroe isn't really known for being that kind of deep threat. He's known for being more of a possession slot receiver. So it's absolutely awesome to just see him be able to go downfield and make these plays when we absolutely need it. So I'm excited, ecstatic, just super hyped for how this is going between him and Renfroe right now. Alright, now here's the second play I wanted to show you guys. Again, it's another beautiful throw from Carr to Renfroe. Their connection right now over the last 2 weeks is something that's just becoming absolutely insane to watch. Super fun to watch. I've been hyped up for the last 2 weeks just watching these few plays between him and Renfroe, and just the poise of Derek Carr standing in the pocket during this play and taking this huge hit as soon as he throws the ball. You can watch it. He takes this insane hit. Renfroe still comes down with the ball. It's in double coverage. It's in right near the end zone. It wasn't counted as a touchdown, but I mean, it was just absolutely amazing to watch it happen. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one real quick. And I just want you guys to watch it and see kind of what I saw with him just staying in the pocket, not really crumbling under pressure. He's starting to get back to that 2016 kind of form that everybody says that they've been looking for in him for the last 3 years. He's kind of, to me, I feel like Carr has gotten himself out of his own head a little bit. He doesn't seem like he's too worried about being injured again. I know right now it's kind of hard for him to not have to worry about that, considering 2/3 of the O-line is out, or 2/5, but it's just nice watching him stand in the pocket and make these plays. So I'm gonna play it right now. Here we go.
Both touchdowns. It's the third straight week they strike for the end zone in the closing seconds of the first half.
I mean, the eye discipline, Carr keeping the safety to the left and then throwing this ball where only his player Renfroe can catch it. And then the discipline, you know you're about to get hit right there.
Is he across?
And McCourty's coming over and say, I'm still going to catch this and take it. He's short. They got to come back out.
All right, so like you guys just saw and just heard the commentators say, Renfroe knew he was gonna take that hit. As soon as he caught that ball, he knew he was gonna get hit. He was just slightly short of the end zone, so obviously it didn't get called a touchdown, which wasn't that big a deal because I know we went and scored on the very next play. So it wasn't that big of an issue that he didn't score on that one. But it's just nice seeing Carr and Renfroe have that connection. Plus seeing Carr stand in the pocket with such poise and confidence that his guy is going to go up and make that catch in double coverage. It's an absolutely beautiful thing to watch. I'm honestly super hyped to see where it can go next. It's going to be great, man. It's just going to be absolutely amazing to see on how this season unfolds because there's so many questions. Throughout the NFL, teams have been slated to be undefeated now that haven't won anything. There's other teams that have been slated to be 2-2 that are now 1-3 or 0-4. It's just been a weird season. There's been no preseason, no real off season to kind of get people acclimated and to get that kind of rust off of them. So there's been quite a few injuries. The COVID thing, it's just, the whole thing's just crazy this year. All I can say is hopefully the injury bug doesn't hit us too much more. Obviously, down the line, like, we've still got 12 games left, so down the line there's still going to be some more injuries, but hopefully it's nothing too major. Hopefully it can be one of those things where it's like just routine stuff that players have to heal up throughout the week, and then they can play on the Sundays or Thursdays or Mondays or whatever day they play. But hopefully it's not too big of a situation to where it's going to cripple our team. But with that said, it's looking to me like it's going to be a pretty solid season. I'm not going to say we're going to get more than 10 wins because I don't want to project something like that. It's going to be a hard-fought season, especially for the Raiders, based off of just the things that they've already dealt with this year. Injuries early on, the super tough schedule coming into the season. The first 5 games have been brutal. I mean, I know the Panthers game wasn't that brutal, but then you get into, we played the Saints, then we played the Patriots, then we played the Bills. This coming Sunday, we're going to end up playing the Chiefs in Kansas City. Then we get the bye week, and then the very next game, we get Tampa Bay in Las Vegas against Tom Brady and that offense that has been absolutely firing throughout the last couple weeks. So it's going to be a very tough schedule up until then. And the team just has to come in completely ready every week. Take it play by play, take it game by game. Don't look too far ahead. And if they do that, I could see us winning 10 games still. You know, there's a lot of season left. A lot of crazy things can happen. The season's already been kind of nuts anyways, so who knows? I'm just hoping for the absolute best. With all that said, thank you all for joining me again. And as Al Davis would say,
just win, baby.